it's been a weird year, at least this year, with the whole pandemic. But something I do see in you is definitely you have a great passion for the teenagers that we work with. You encourage them a lot in their education and their study. And like, I remember when we had the graduation ceremony, seeing the emotion that you were going through, almost of like, you were proud, almost as if you were their father, with the class that we had graduate from high school. When you look at these teens, what is it that you think? Do you see yourself in them in a sort of way, or what is it that you experience that gives you that drive?
I think knowing as Latinos just that how the odds are stacked against us. You know, I think that when a Latino student, first generation, graduates high school, I do think it's a milestone. I joke around like, oh, you know, what else is expected of you? You know, you only have to go to school. You only have to focus on high school and go to school and get good grades. But no, there is a disadvantage, and it's statistically proven, where we are at a disadvantage because other, you know, families that are American born for generations already have a system in place that kind of funnels a child through high school, and there's already college funds and all these things that are already helping a student set themselves up for success. And most of us don't have that. Most of us have to really work hard at getting a scholarship or getting some sort of funding for college. So I think, and not only that, but I know this particular class, because of what happened in the last couple of months, I know how difficult it must have been on them to graduate. But generally speaking, I think it's a big milestone. I do see myself through them because I remember how hard it was for me. Like I said, 17, going through the death of my brother and still managing to graduate high school a year later. And I know that all these kids have gone through something, even though they might not show it, they might not share it. They've gone through something that has affected them deeply. And being at that disadvantage, any little thing that affects them emotionally, psychologically, I know can be a deterrent from successfully completing their studies. So seeing them, of course, yeah, anytime they graduate high school, I'm going to be very happy. But most importantly, seeing them in the class, graduating from our class. For those who don't know, our teenage years class graduates alongside with their high school graduation. So the teens this year that graduated high school also graduated from our teenage class, and that's a big blessing because we didn't have, when I was growing up, a teenage class. Sunday school ended, I don't even remember, but I don't even think at 12 you're in Sunday school anymore.
Yeah, it was like around 12. Like once you're a teenager, I think that's it.
I don't know who came up with these age ranges, but like 12 to 35 youth, that's very broad. What does a 35-year-old have in common with a 12-year-old?
Yeah.
For you to just to lump that whole group into one cohort of people to serve as a youth, that's really hard. That's hard. Yeah. So I thank God for the inspiration that he gave, I think your mother, Mana Sandra, and other other Sunday school leaders for creating and for really making a concerted effort to focus on the teenage years, because unfortunately, I was looking at a picture of maybe 12 kids of when I was entering that pre-adolescent years. And if I look at that picture and try to figure out who's still at our church today, is really only 2 at our church, 1 at another church, thank God. And the others, I have no clue. Wow. So to see 6 teens graduating from a class that already has like 25 kids, and then next year, another class maybe of, I think, 4 or 5 kids graduating, that to me is a big accomplishment, because, and it's again, it's dad driven, that these kids, unfortunately, are at a disadvantage. And even spiritually speaking, many of them are single parent households. Many of them have been emotionally battered. And for us to work as spiritual counselors for these teenagers, as teachers, as mentors, you name the role. I think Melissa and I and you and Danny, BB, I think we've fulfilled that role one way or another, to really help the ones that struggle. There's the ones that don't need anything, like in anything, that they're the
Right.
ones that are always there. They're going to push themselves through. But even they sometimes go through issues at home we had no idea of, and they need that backing, that support. So that's why it's emotional to me.
I mean, that's great, man. And like hearing you talk about it, it shows. And I think definitely like you mentioned, I agree with you. Adding the teen class there in the middle is huge. It's helped. I know it's helped a lot. And I know the seeds that have been planted, the lessons that we've been able to teach them, it sticks, sooner or later it's going to be there in your mind. And so I definitely am thankful for you, for the leadership you've shown in that area as well. And on top of that, with God, dude. To conclude this interview, man, if some words, some advice that you could give some of the youth that are hearing this. I know a lot of people that are subscribed don't go to our church, and so like something that you can tell them, little tips on how to face adulthood or anything.
Listen to those older people. They know a thing or two. Listen to your parents, ask for advice. Now I don't do anything without asking 2 or 3 people. Whereas back then you would ask your friends, hey, what do you think? Should I change a job or no? No, ask people who have, like I told the teens, like, ask people who have been there, done that. So analyze, what is it that you want to do next? Okay, well, I want to start applying for work. Okay, so I want to start applying where? Okay, I want to start applying for, I don't know, whatever you graduated from. All right, so what are some good practices to start looking for job applications? Well, ask around, or the big one is, I want to get married, right? Well, ask somebody, ask how that experience is of someone that have been successfully married,
Happily married
for a few years, because it's not as easy as some couples make it seem, but it is rewarding. So yeah, if I had to give advice, I would say listen, ask, less talking, more listening, I think is important, to be successful. Leverage your parents, leverage your pastor, leverage your youth leaders, your spiritual leaders. That's biblical. That's all Bible right there. But it's not only something that us as Christians do, but you look at the world secularly, and that's what they do. People look for mentors that are twice their age to help them, guide them through a career. People look into networking to try to find people that will connect them with other people. So all that implies that people are seeking counsel. People are asking questions. So I think that's what we need to do, all of us, even regardless of our age.
Awesome, bro. Thank you. Dude, I'm gonna do a fake goodbye, and then we'll properly say our goodbye here. But it's been good, man. Thank you. All right, so here we go. 3, 2, 1. All right, Harold, thank you very much for being on this week's episode. Thank you for your stories and testimony as well. I know hopefully it could be a great guidance to those that are hearing. I'll see you soon. We'll see you Sunday?
I'll see you Sunday, man.
Awesome, bro. Thank you guys for watching, and this has been Let's Talk.